How can I determine an equity percentage versus funding? Well, yeah. So okay. So let me say this. Whenever I start a business, a for-profit business, I issue generally 3 to 4 million shares. 3 to 4 million shares. I immediately set aside 5%, 5% of those shares, and then what I use the leverage those shares for are engaging or enrolling people to work for me. So that can be distribution of shares to over time. So I may have somebody who comes on board. I may not have a lot of money, cash, but I've got shares, and I can say, okay, I'll pay you 6,000 shares a month. This comes out of the 5%, right? 6,000 shares a month. And those 6,000 shares that you get each month will vest after 6 months. So what I've done is I've created a mechanism that makes sure if they're terminated or if it doesn't work out within that 6 months, I don't have to deliver any shares to them because it didn't vest. So it vests over 6 months. If I'm looking for funding and I'm just a startup, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be prepared to distribute 35% of my business. For initial angel funding. It's just going to be what it's going to be. I try to create, if I'm fundraising, and I haven't done this for quite some time, but when we train other people for fundraising, your team is a part of the value. So I can determine my valuation through my team. And if anybody is super experienced, let's say I was on the team, the valuation goes up dramatically. Based upon the market and the possibility, the valuation goes up. If I'm generating revenue, the more revenue I'm generating, showing a customer growth, I can then say, okay, 10 times revenue would be this. This is a valuation of my company. The key thing is in the beginning, and let's say you're asking for $50, $100, $250,000, and you're going to be distributing 30 to 35% of your business. That gives you some sense of what percentage you're going to need to distribute or you're going to have to give up for those investors. I may suggest anybody who's really doing that, first of all, you need a lawyer because a lawyer is the only one who can help you put together the term sheet and the offer letters that go to the investors. When you are running an investment and you're trying to go for money, remember it's out of your control. But you need to be 100% focused on that funding and closing those deals. When you have a funder who's hot, if you have somebody who's excited about funding your business, you want to close that as fast as possible. Get them to sign on the dotted line right now. Here you go, sign. My mother talked about this, getting people to sign right then and there, particularly funders. Once you collect that money, then once you get all those funders, you close the deal. Again, lawyers are going to have to be part of that process. So it's not just a simple. Unless it's friends and family, then you can have a simple document you can find on the internet, on Google, and then go get that money. But again, I would be looking at, when I'm looking at valuation, it's people on the team, history, market size, any revenue, multiples of revenue that you're already creating can prove that there's a market for that. And then you want to be completely 100% focused on the fundraising at the point you're going after fundraising, because that is all you can really focus on to get those deals closed. And then after funding, you go back to your business. So funding and fundraising is extremely disruptive to the operation of a business if you're currently in business. But valuations are determined by the people on the team, history of those people and their success rate, how much revenue you're generating, the potential for revenue, and then the speed of growth you can get. Again, when I start any business that might have any potential for any business, actually, when I start a for-profit business, about 4 million shares, 5% to the side for employees or people, not employees, contractors, people who would work for you. You can use those shares as money and then distribute that over time. Again, investing over time.